All right. So in this presentation, I'm going to go through my weird stock strategy that's currently making me $387 per day with little to no risk, and how you can ethically knock it off overnight with no prior trading experience. Okay. I'm Michelle Mascio. Nice to meet you. Thanks for checking in. I do want to let everybody know that there's a million different distractions in the world. You guys are going to be getting texts, Facebook notifications, Instagram, that kind of thing. So please treat this like your favorite TV series on television. So like when you look away for 10 seconds and you miss something huge, so put your phone on silent, put your phone away. I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to let you know that what I'm about to show you is super powerful. It's a trading strategy that not a lot of people know about, and I'm going to show you lots of my dirty little secrets on this presentation. So promise me that you're not going to go out and tell them to the whole world. I'm going to show you how to profit, whether the market's going up, whether the market's going down. And at the end, I'm even going to show you how to find the best trades that are almost guaranteed to make you money in as little as 15 minutes without watching tons of charts on your computer screen. Now, there's a lot of people out there who will charge you like $5,000 for this information. It definitely cost me way more than that to learn it all over the last 20 plus years. And so in order for you to get the most out of this presentation, treat it as if you really did pay 5,000 bucks. I know it's free, but treat it as if you did. So that means get engaged, ask me questions if you have any. And like I said, turn your phone off so you don't get annoyed with the notifications. So first I want to start with a disclaimer, okay? First, I want to let you guys know that just by watching this presentation, you guys are not going to be making $387 tomorrow. Also, you need to know that past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. Anytime you're trading in the market, there's going to be risk and you can lose money. Okay. But I've seen tons of people take the exact methods that I'm going to go through today, that I'm going to talk about, and consistently make low risk trades and bring in a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 each and every single month and totally change their lives. So get ready. Who am I? You might be wondering, who am I to talk to you about investing in the stock market? So some of you might already know who I am. Maybe you saw some of my stuff before. Maybe you haven't, and that's okay too. So my name is Michelle Mascio. I've been trading since my early 20s, right? I've been securities registered since 2007. I became a certified financial planner way back when. And basically what I had been doing was managing money for clients all over the world. So I had been managing money for about 13 plus years. Now I'm focusing only on education, right? I believe that no one is ever going to treat your money better than you will. And I'm here to show you with just a little bit of time and effort and ongoing, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes maximum per day, you can make yourself double-digit returns, even triple-digit returns on an ongoing basis, right? Now, some of you guys know who Tony Robbins is, right? So he's an amazing philanthropist. Basically, he's one of the best life coaches, I think, in the world. He coaches people like Oprah Winfrey, Nelson Mandela, Princess Diana. He coached Bill Clinton, and he's been my personal mentor for the last couple of years. So I've been a member of his Platinum Partnership Mastermind, which is a super exclusive high-end group of his best students from all over the world. And this picture was taken a couple of years ago at one of his houses in Sun Valley. He holds an investment conference every year where he brings some of the best speakers in the world, and then he threw a party at his house. So today, for the past few years, I'm able to work from anywhere, literally anywhere in the world, with just my laptop, using the strategies that I'm going to go over with you today. But it wasn't like that at first. At the beginning, when I first got into trading, all I wanted to do was make enough money to pay my student loan payments. I remember looking at all these people who were day trading and they were making so much money. I thought, oh my gosh, my life would be so much different if that bill would just disappear every month. And what I was thinking was, what if I just made a trade here, a trade there, and it just all added up to cover it? That would have totally changed my life. So I thought, what if I could do this full time? Like, what would it take me to make like $100,000? So I did the math, and it turns out $100,000 per day, per year rather, comes down to only $273 per day. Now, I made way more than that, but that's not my goal for you today. My goal for you today is to get you guys excited and understand that you can do this from the comfort of your home. You could do this while you're traveling, and I want to show you that anybody can do this, even if you have no stock market experience at all. So this presentation is going to be for people that have. I'm going to show you if you have experience in the stock market. I'm going to show you if you don't have experience, and I'm going to show you on this presentation today. Okay, let's see. So let me tell you about a story about how I first got into investing. Now, back at one of my early jobs in the financial field, I had practically no money to invest. I didn't have much knowledge. I didn't have much experience. And basically, my best bet at the time was to trust everybody else who did have experience. And basically, I just wanted to do what they were doing. So all the investment advisors back then, they were all telling their clients to invest in Bank of America. Now, my boss was probably the best investor that I knew back then. And I mean, he worked in finance, so that was his job to know what to invest in. And he told me that Bank of America was a surefire stock to invest in. He said it was super safe and I could not lose. And basically, since I didn't have a lot of money, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to put my money somewhere and I just want to make sure I make money and not lose it overnight. So when he told me that Bank of America was super safe, I was all in. There was almost no chance that I was going to lose. So I was super excited about it. I took like 5,000 bucks of my own money. That was like the most money I never saw in my lifetime, practically. And I put it into Bank of America. And you guys know that feeling when you're about to spend a lot of money on something and you get those butterflies in your stomach? Well, that's how I felt. I was super scared, but I went with it because that's the stock that everybody had been talking about. So people were saying it was like the next best thing to sliced bread. I was even running around to all my friends telling them that they should put all their money into Bank of America. I was celebrating. And then this happened. I dumped all my money in, and for the whole next month, I was checking back to see how my investment was going. And it turned out that Bank of America went from literally $50 a share to $2.50 per share in a super short period of time. I felt like this. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was scared to talk to the people that I told to invest in Bank of America. I was hoping that they didn't invest, and I was hoping they didn't see it drop. Every time I looked at the numbers, it literally made me want to cry. But for whatever reason, my broker at the time, he kept telling me, "Oh my gosh, Michelle, hold on, it's still good. Don't sell it. You're going to regret it." So I continued to watch it drop as I lost almost my entire 5,000 bucks until it got down to $2.50 per share. I literally lost just about everything. So I finally got over it. And a month or two later, I was at this party talking to a friend of mine, right? And he started talking about how he invested in Bank of America. So me having just lost 5,000 bucks, I want to get some comfort knowing somebody else lost all their money too. I know that sounds pretty, but that's how I felt, right? So here we're talking about it. And I asked how much he lost in Bank of America. But he went on to tell me he actually made money on it, right? And I couldn't believe my ears. How did he literally make money and I lost all my money? So we kept talking and he told me he didn't invest in Bank of America stock, but he actually invested in Bank of America stock options, right? So now I'm sure you guys are thinking like, what the heck are stock options, right? So some of you probably know what stocks are and you're supposed to buy low, sell high, right? Everybody talks about that. And you might have heard of that. And you might know that stocks are kind of like when you own like this little piece of that company. But typically, you need a lot of money to invest in stocks. And the fact is that you only make money when you sell your stock. So that's a big difference between stocks and options. Now, let me tell you how options work. Options are going to be a little bit differently. So you can actually make money in your account every single day when you trade options, right? You don't have to own any stock and it takes a lot less money to be able to invest. And here's the thing, trading options is kind of like being an insurance company. Now, let me walk through what I'm talking about. Buying stocks are kind of like buying a new car, right? So you're in love with this car, you're super excited about it, but it was expensive and you don't want anything to happen to it, right? So what do? You buy insurance on it. So you pay the insurance company a bunch of money. So just in case you accidentally crash your car, they have you covered. They're going to fix it and it's no sweat, right? Well, options are kind of like the same thing. When you're trading options, it's like you are the insurance company for someone else's stock. So someone else goes out, they spend a whole bunch of money on a stock, right? But they want insurance on the stock in case it happens to crash. So you tell that person that you're going to buy up some of their shares if their stock falls, and they happily pay you for being quote unquote insurance company, right? So if the stock fails, you are guaranteed to get in at a super low point, which is every stock trader's dream. Now, remember, the name of the game is buy low, sell high, right? So that's what my friend at the party had done. He traded options, and basically he told people who own Bank of America that he would buy up all their shares if the stock dropped. And when it did, he bought up hundreds of shares straight off the clearance rack for like 90% off. And then he sold it back to them at a way higher price. Isn't that insane? Did you guys get that? Do you see what I'm talking about? So now you guys might be thinking, okay, that is so freaking cool. I want to trade options. But what happens if the stock doesn't fall? Are you guys thinking that? Well, basically, what happens to the insurance company if you don't crash your car, right? They take your money and they run. The same thing happens when the stock doesn't fall, right? Nothing happens. You just collect your just in case money and then you do it again. So then I thought about what would have happened, right, if I put my 5,000 bucks into options instead of stock. So today, Bank of America stock, it was at 31 bucks per share, right? So if I had traded options instead of stock, I could have literally gotten Bank of America stock at $2.50 per share instead of 50 bucks. Now, if I sold that stock back right now, I would have made literally like 19 grand instead of losing $5,000. Literally, the only difference would have been if I invested in options instead of stock. So who here wants to be like Brian and learn how to buy all your stocks off the clearance rack for up to 90% off and get paid to do it, right? Absolutely. At this time when I was talking about stocks and options, I became obsessed with the idea of trading. And since then, I have literally made thousands of trades. Now, with thousands of trades, I've probably made thousands of mistakes. I've literally tried doing dozens of different types of trades. Some worked, some didn't, right? So I just want you guys to know that this isn't what most people normally teach. There's probably thousands of people out there that teach trading and investing strategies with big promises. They talk about day trading, penny stocks, blue chip stocks, all these different ways to trade. But there's something wrong with most of those strategies. They either promise you that you're going to get rich quick overnight, or it's going to take you like 20 years to cash out and make any money at all. Plus, they're usually super risky. And unless you're experienced and get it exactly right, it's hard to do, right? I'm going to teach you something a totally different way, aka I'm going to teach you the easy way, right? It's going to be completely different because chances are you don't have some extra like maybe 100K sitting around to put into a stock and risk it all overnight. You see, we don't have unlimited budgets or millions of dollars to invest like other people, like maybe Warren Buffett or something like that. So we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. And because every cent that we're putting in is our own, it's way more important to be more cautious with it, right? So you have to be profitable from day one. But how is that even possible? I'm going to show you guys now. How many of you guys want to skip the hard way and go straight to the easy way? So these are the 3 little secrets to trading like a boss. I'm going to talk to you today about 3 secrets. Secret number 1 is I'm going to show you the only type of trade that you're ever going to need to know and how it makes you money literally on a daily basis. Then I'm going to show you secret number 2, how to place amazing trades, even if you have no experience, even if you're not good with numbers, and even if you don't understand investing software. Secret number 3, I'm going to show you on this presentation is how to make more money trading in literally 15 minutes a day on your couch than the people that work on Wall Street. Who wants to learn all of these secrets, right? Absolutely. Let's start with secret number 1, right? The only type of trade that you're ever going to need to know that makes you money on a daily basis. So first, I want to show you guys an acronym that I absolutely love, right? Focus. Now, I'm not talking about focus being the key to success, right? I'm talking about follow one course until success. So a lot of people, when they get into trading, they try to understand everything about it. They want to know about like all these little things, right? Blue chip stocks and penny stocks and day trading and et cetera, et cetera. But if you look at anybody who's the best at anything, they only do one specific thing, right? Look at professional athletes. They play one position because that's all they're really, really good at. Olympians, they participate in one single event because they're the best at that event. You don't see them going to practice like other events that they're not even going to participate in. That would be a total waste of your time, of their time. So you see athletes doing this. I'm telling you, they focus on one thing. So let's talk about that. I truly believe that if you follow one course until you're successful, there isn't not one person on this planet that couldn't transform his or her life over the next 12 months trading options. Now, if you focus on just one thing, it doesn't matter if you're already trading every day. It doesn't matter if you're making money, losing money. It doesn't even matter if you don't even know what a stock is, right? I'm going to show you guys these secrets that if you focus on one single thing, you will be successful. So I want you guys to commit. I want you guys to say this with me. Once I know that trading options is the safest and easiest strategy to generate regular income on a daily basis, I will go all in, right? I want you guys to say that because I'm telling you, if I can make $387 per day, so can you. Now, I want to tell you, guys, a quick story about someone I know who was scared to go in all in on options originally. So this is my friend Jennifer, right? She had never traded before. She never even thought about trading. She worked for some like fancy corporate office job, nothing too fancy. She wasn't making a lot of money. And I told her that this was way back when I was really big into trading and that she could do it too. Um, and she can make like this side hustle, like this side income to kind of help pay some of her bills and save some money, right? So I explained it to her and she was interested, but she was one of those people who was kind of scared at the time to jump into new things, right? She wanted to understand all the ins and outs before even thinking about investing. So after a couple weeks, she came back to me and she was totally ready to like give up, throw up her hands. She got completely overwhelmed trying to understand every single little piece of information, right? She was talking about buying stocks and day trading and all these different strategies. And the more she looked at it, the more confused she got. And then she wasn't interested anymore. The internet told her that it was so easy to lose all your money super fast. And then she was reading these books that told her about selling options and it was so advanced and you shouldn't start there. And then they were talking about all these other strategies that she started talking about. And here's the thing, she was so confused because if you try to understand everything at once, it's kind of like trying to read like a whole textbook, like the whole thing the night before the big test, right? What if I told you that all you were going to be tested on was one single page? That's not too hard then, right? So then when she came back to me, I said, Jennifer, slow down. You're making it way too complicated. You can make it hard if you want, but I'm going to make it simple. Where she went wrong was she was trying to understand every little piece of the stock market. But all you have to do is understand this one little thing. All you have to do is understand how to sell a put, right? Now, you guys might be thinking, like, what the heck are you talking about? But let me tell you something. I told Jennifer, I explained to her what I'm going to show you on this presentation. I told her how to sell a put. She took my advice. She ignored everything else. She sold her first put and she made $84 literally that same day. And when I say that same day, I mean the same day. I don't mean like you have to like buy some stock and wait till you sell it or wait till it goes back up. I mean the same day, right? So she realized there was no need to understand everything. It can be complicated if you try to understand everything, but when you focus on one thing, it can be super simple. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, Michelle, what the heck are you talking about selling a put? I'm going to show you now. Remember this guy, Brian, from before, from the party, right? He's the one who made money on Bank of America when I lost all my money, almost 5,000 bucks. He was selling puts on Bank of America. That's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do now. Let me show you what I mean. Meet Dave, right? Dave is our long-term savvy investor. He just bought 500 new shares of Bank of America stock. He paid $50 each, right? So he spent $25,000 on Bank of America stock. And he wants to make sure he doesn't lose all his money, right? So if the stock goes down, he doesn't want to lose all his money. So what's he going to do? Since Dave loves his new stocks, he's willing to pay my friend Brian to buy up his shares in case the stock goes down. So check it. Dave gives Brian $100. Brian agrees to buy 100 of Dave's shares if the stock goes below, let's say, $20. So in this situation, my friend Brian sold a put. So selling a put is basically agreeing to buy a bunch of someone else's stock if the stock goes down. I'm going to say that again because it's so easy. It's so easy, it's simple, and sometimes people don't get it. Selling a put is agreeing to buy someone else's stock if the stock goes down, right? You guys follow me? So this is a win-win for both people because when the stock fell, right, in the case of Bank of America, what I'm talking about, Dave was able to cut his losses, and then Brian was able to buy the stock that he already wanted at this crazy low price. So Brian got his 100 shares at 20 bucks instead of $50 like Dave had to pay. And then he sold them back after the stock went up to 30 bucks afterward. So you are getting paid to commit to buy a stock that you already like anyway at a price that you already want to buy it at. Now, why would anybody go to buy stock at a retail price when you could actually get paid to buy it at a discount? That's what selling puts are. So when you sell a put and the stock drops, you actually make a bunch of money by selling it back at a later date. Now, how many other trading strategies do you know where you can literally celebrate when a stock goes down? None. That's why trading options is the only way that you guys should be trading from here on out. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see how easy it is? In reality, so here's the thing. In reality, the stock only goes down like 2% of the time, right? So what that means is that 98% of the time, the stock is going to stay in relatively the same spot. So now I bet you're wondering, like, what happens the other 98% of the time when the stock doesn't go down? That's right. You take your money and run. Remember, Dave just actually paid Brian $100 in order to be there in case the stock dropped. So let's say a month later, the stock doesn't drop like it does 98% of the time. Brian would have just taken his $100 and put that back into selling another put. It's just like the insurance company. What happens when you buy car insurance and you don't smash your car? The car insurance company takes your money and run. This is the same thing. You just keep the money and you don't buy the stock. So what do you think you should do when you make that $100 when you sell that put? You go buy a new phone case, you go spend it on like date night or something like that. No, you put that money right back into making your next trade tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. That's when you put that money back into your next trade, you're going to get paid out a little bit more next time and then a little bit more next time. Isn't that cool? So we're not putting in like $10,000 and waiting like 20 years to make our money. No, we're not praying that one stock doubles in price overnight. No, we're collecting our just in case money each and every day, just like an insurance company, and we're putting the profits back in so we can make a bigger trade next time. This is what I call trading for income. You guys trade for income, or do you trade to like look at your goofy statement on the screen? No, you trade for income for sure, right? Do you guys see how powerful this is? So maybe you're going to start making an extra $50 per week, and then it's like $60 per week, and then it's $100, then it's $500, $1,000 or more, as long as you follow this simple process. Now, I want you guys to meet Maggie. Maggie is someone I literally taught her how to trade stock options, right? She works this is an old slide. She doesn't work full-time anymore. She used to work full-time and she just retired. And she was working full-time and she trades options on the side. She literally made herself $676 the very first month she started trading. She lives in St. John. I saw Maggie about a month ago when I was in St. John. We had drinks together, and she literally told me that she started her account with $50,000, and her account is literally at $250K right now. I'm telling you, she started just like you are, making a couple a couple trades each and every day, taking in money. So when I first introduced this whole concept of selling puts to people, they get super excited. And at the beginning, they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. But the first thing they ask, are you thinking like, what's the catch, right? You might be thinking that. And it almost seems too good to be true, right? So you're probably wondering like, why aren't more people doing that? What's the catch that I just don't want to own like a whole bunch of stock, right? When we're using this method, we're trading with a different intention than most other strategies. So you don't actually want to own a bunch of stock to have to cash out in several years, because really like, what's the point in owning stock? To make money, right? The goal is not to make a bunch of money very quickly. You're not going to do day trading. You're not going to buy some penny stock, and you're not going to do that. I'm gonna just talk to you about the secrets. I showed you the only trade that you're ever going to need to know, right? Selling a put. Selling a put is like being an insurance company. You're just staying there to buy someone else's stock if it crashes. If it doesn't crash, you don't buy it, right? So you're going to keep your money in cash. That's the only trade that you're ever going to need to know, and how it makes you money on a daily basis, right? There's virtually no risk. Worst that comes to worst, the market goes down and you buy all your stocks off the clearance rack like my friend Brian did, and then you sell them back later at a huge profit. Is that amazing? How many of you guys are excited about trading options right now? How many of you guys are ready to get started right now? I'm gonna go through secret number 2. How to place amazing trades, even if you have no experience, if you're not good with numbers, and if you don't understand investing software, right? You don't have to be good in school. You don't have to be good in math. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make these trades, right? Are you guys ready? So here's what most traders do. So the process for most people looks like this, right? They're going to spend 6 months learning how to trade, right? They're going to spend all day looking at like multiple computer screens, looking at graphs, looking at data, looking at trends, and they're going to like look for their golden trade, right? After they spend all these hours. But I know that you guys did not come here on this training because you want to know like the next best way to like analyze data. No, you came to this class today because you're looking for a way to change your life, to get rid of your bills, to quit your job, start traveling, live life on your terms. That's what I'm going to show you. You're not going to do all this other stuff that other people do and pray it works out. No, I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? Let me go through a question for you guys. Which of these 2 pictures looks more like your style? You want to be like this guy on the left looking at a whole bunch of screens? Or do you want to be the person on the right with a laptop at the beach? I don't know about you guys, but I want to be the person with the laptop at the beach. Matter of fact, this Saturday, I'm going to go to the Virgin Islands. I live in LA, and I have a place in the Virgin Islands, and I go back and forth. And the advantage of going back and forth is you can literally do this with a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. The truth is you don't need any of that junk on the left-hand side. I'm going to show you how simple the process is, right? But before I do that, I want to show you a video of someone who is so overwhelmed by the thought of trading. I got a quick video of her talking about how this strategy totally changed her life. Now, it's only a couple minutes, so just hang in there, right?
Hi, I'm Daisy Snape from all the way away in the cold UK, talking to you about trading, and particular trading options. Now, I got interested in trading and stock market trading about 20 years ago. I went to a wealth mastery event held by Tony Robbins and his team that talked all about trading and passive income and producing a residual income for yourself. At the time, I was employed and I was working for a company and trading my time for money. So if I didn't turn up for work, I didn't get paid. So when they were talking about options trading and having a trading account and making your money work for you and the compound effect, I was really interested, because I knew that I had, in the long run, I couldn't keep trading my time for money, and I wanted to do more with my life than just work, every day. So I got really interested in the trading side of things and took up the course and really started listening to it. The problem was, in that time, I was a bit wild in my 20s, and it didn't sink in properly, and I didn't actually finish the course. In fact, I left before the end, which was always a massive regret for me. So if you fast forward 20 years on, I've got quite a few successful businesses already in London, but I'm still trading my time for money. And I didn't want to be a millionaire. I didn't want to do any of that, but I wanted to have time with my family. That was the most important thing for me. And I went on the same course I went on 20 years before, about a year ago now, in Fiji. And the first person I met when I got off the plane in Fiji, in this beautiful country, the humidity hits you, and I come from a cold place, so it was an incredible place. It was a real eye-opening moment. First person I met was a lady called Michelle. And Michelle introduced herself, and we got talking, and Michelle was, so weirdly, she was an options trader. And from that day to this, I've never met another trader until that day. And she was the first person I met, and we hit it off, and we had a wonderful time. And she told me all about what she did. And I was like, Michelle, I want to do this. I really want to learn this. Can you teach me? And she said, absolutely yes. She said, it's so simple. There's just a few rules you need to follow, and you can do it too. It's quite simple. And I didn't really believe her, to be honest. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be doing this. And all the doubts crept in again. But I persisted, and I got home from Fiji after a wonderful course, and we connected, and I went on her trading course, her options trading course, which was, over a number of evenings, just very, very simple stuff we had to do. And she taught me step by step how to trade options successfully. Do you know what the best thing about Michelle? She makes it so simple. She's so diligent. She really understands, everything you're talking about. She explains it in a really simple way. And options isn't complicated. It's just, with Michelle's guidance, you can trade options. And do you know what? I'm 6 months on, have a very successful online trading platform that I work from, and I do it all from my home. I do it half an hour a day. It's a really simple process, and I follow Michelle's lead. She coaches me through it, and I am making 20 to 40% return on my investment every single month. So I just want to thank you, Michelle, for introducing me to this. I've got my own trading portfolio thanks to you. After 20 years of waiting, it has finally happened. And if I'd have found you 20 years earlier, goodness knows where I'd be. But thank you very much. And anybody who wants to know anything, get in touch with Michelle. She's incredible. Take care. Bye.
So how many of you guys feel like Daisy felt? You're sick of trading your time for money. You want to see your money start working for you. Daisy tried trading before. She bought a course from someone and she couldn't get through it. Then she started trading options using this method, the one that I teach, and she got it instantly. Did you guys hear what she said her rate of return was? 20 to 40%. Who wants to be like Daisy, right? So let me show you exactly what I showed her. And that made it super simple and easy for anybody to make these trades. Now, I want to save some time, so I went ahead and I recorded a video earlier that shows you how to do this. But I just want you guys to see how easy it really is to do this stuff. Hey guys, I'm Michelle Mascio, and I'm here to show you the exact process that I go through specifically when I go to make a trade. It's super, super simple, and I'm going to walk through it with you step by step. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. And I am going to open up a browser. I have a browser here. So we're going to just kind of go over step by step how I choose a stock and the steps involved in order to implement that trading strategy. So I'm going to use just an example of Apple stock. Apple is one of my favorite companies. They're a company that I use personally. I have an iPhone. I use a MacBook Pro. I've been using Apple for a very long time. Apple is very strong in the technology space. They have more cash than the federal government. They're a fantastic, company, big blue chip type company. So let's kind of like walk through that. So basically what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to use Google to get a couple of bits of information, and I'm going to show you how easy that is, right? So I'm going to say Apple stock, Yahoo Finance, and I'm just going to look that up right now. Just going to click right here, Finance Yahoo. We're going to look at Apple, and there's going to be a lot of information on the page here. Don't let that scare you off at all. I'm going to show you just a couple of bits of information that's important, and we're going to go through that step by step. But basically, Apple right now, you'll see right here, it's trading at 262. dollars per share and 64 cents, 262.64. One of the first things that you want to double check when we think and we um, consider trading a stock option is that you want to make sure that the company is profitable. So again, there's a lot of information on this page, but I'm just going to walk you through the important pieces that you just want to pay attention to. So this spot right here, this EPS TTM, that stands for earnings per share trailing 12 months. You just want to make sure that this number is over 0. You'll see right here it says 11.89. You just want to make sure that's a positive number, that it's a number over 0. That means that the company is actually making a profit, right? So the next step we're going to do in consecutive order is we are going to put a couple of things in a very basic spreadsheet. Actually, it's a calculator that we provide all the people in our group, all the people that take the class here. We're just going to calculate how much should the retail price of Apple be, right? So we're going to look at the EPS, the earnings per share, and basically all you need to do is copy and paste, right? So this 11.89, we're just copying and we're pasting it in this cell right here, 11.89. The second piece of information that we're going to get, and it's very, very easy, is the growth of the company. So these are just two things that we have this calculator to calculate the retail price of a stock. We're going to go back to our Yahoo Finance page, and we're going to click on this analysis tab right here. So this analysis tab, and we're going to scroll down slightly until we come to the growth estimates, right? So growth estimates, we're going to look for the next 5 years per annum, per year. So what this is saying is that the company is expected to grow 9.86% per year over the next 5 years. So we're just going to copy that into this cell right here, 9.86. And then basically our calculator does all the work for us. So the retail price of Apple is $335 per share. Now, this isn't an exact figure. This is very most commonly known as like an estimate of what the retail price of Apple should be. Given its financial metrics, how much should the stock be trading at? What is its value? Okay, so $335. Now, we said a moment ago that the stock is only trading at $262. So really what we could determine from that is that the stock is already kind of on sale. So it's trading at less than really what the retail price is. But we don't ever even want to pay what the stock is trading at. We always want to buy stock that's lower, because in case it comes down and in case we're off on our analysis, we want to make sure that we have a little bit of a cushion in there. So I'm going to say that I want to buy Apple at $235 per share. So now the great part about options trading is that we can actually choose the price at which we're comfortable to buy the stock if it dropped to that particular value, right? So I'm saying, okay, Apple is currently trading at $262 per share. It's really worth about $335, but I only want to pay $235 per share. And then we can also choose the time frame at which we're going to insure it. We talked a moment ago about how options are very similar to insurance and things like that. So we get to choose the time frame at which we are able to insure the stock. So I'm going to go to my custodian page. So this is the page for Interactive Brokers. So this is the trading platform that we use, that I use. And this gives you a little bit of information. Now, don't get confused on any of this. I'm going to point out all these different pieces. But basically, what I'm showing you guys here is that we are going to sell a $235 Apple put. So that means that if Apple drops from its price where it's trading at now to $235 or lower between now and the time frame that we choose, I'm going to choose January 17th because I'm going to give it about 2 months of time frame. I want to do like this 2-month insurance policy, you might say. It last traded at 1.96. And what that means is that we receive $196 for each contract that we write. So to further explain that, basically what we're doing is we're committing to buy Apple stock at $235, or if it falls to 235 between now and January 17th. And for that commitment, we're paid $196. Now, I think this is a pretty good trade, but let's walk through the return, the rate of return on investment for this. So I have also another calculator started. It's very, very simple. And I have a lot of these fields already filled in, but I'm going to walk through those with you now. So Apple, once again, is the stock that we're looking at. The current price right now is $264.47. We, once again, want to buy it at $235. We are looking to have the length of the trade be until January 17th of 2020. So that's about a 60-day insurance time frame, we'll say. We are paid $196. So basically, when we make the trade, once again, one of the most amazing things about trading options is that the cash gets deposited into our account right then and there. So basically, we get $196 deposited into our account. We're committing to buy Apple if it drops to 235 or lower. And our rate of return is 44%. Fantastic. Now, who out there thinks that Apple is going to drop around Christmas time, $30 and go down like 12% between now and, let's say, January? I don't think it's going to happen personally. But again, one of the best parts about trading options is that the worst case scenario in this particular situation, and really all situations, is that the worst case scenario is that if the price does drop, we basically buy a stock that we like on sale. And then we can wait until the price goes back up, and then we can sell it at retail price. So this is kind of exactly the steps that I use each and every day when I walk through a trade. All righty. So after seeing the demo, how many of you think that you can literally do what I just did? Do you think it's easy or hard? I'm telling you, it's super easy. Hit me up in the chat box and let me know if you think that you can do exactly what I just did. And if you say yes, you are totally right. I promise you guys, it's super easy, super that easy. You literally just saw the exact process that I go through when I make a trade. So if you can Google search a stock, copy and paste numbers into the calculator, then you can literally make the same trades that has made me hundreds of dollars each and every single day. You're going to be able to trade by yourself on your own time. No more being held hostage by a financial advisor, wondering if he's doing what's best for you. This strategy literally lets you take back control of your money. So I want to recap the steps that we just went through to sell a put. Basically, number one, look up a stock that you want to trade on Yahoo Finance. Calculate the retail price using the calculator. You're going to find a good price to buy the stock. You're going to calculate the rate of return using the other calculator that I give you. You're going to enter the trade, and you're going to literally see the money go right into your account. Now, you might be thinking at this point, so wait, do I need like $25,000 to open my account to put that trade in or something like that? You don't need the full value of the stock in order to make the trade. So here's the best thing, right? You get to use what's called like good faith money. So let's say you sold a put on Apple to buy it if it drops 20% in the month, right? So like you need like $26,000. Now you don't actually need 26,000. Maybe you only need like 2,600. And the reason for that is because the broker knows that there's a super small chance that it's going to go so low in such a short period of time. And if you do get close to being assigned those stocks, you don't have to have the whole amount of money. You just have to buy back your trade, and you don't even have to buy the stock. Now, I don't want to get too confusing here because this is like a workshop for people that have no experience. But just know that you don't actually have to buy the stock. You could just buy your trade back and not have to buy the stock. So let's recap number two, right? First, that you guys know that selling a put is the only trade that you're ever going to need to make, right? We did that on secret number one. Now, secret number two, how to make amazing trades, even if you have no experience, even if you're not good with numbers and even if you don't understand investing software. I totally showed you. How many of you guys think that you could pull off what I did in the demo, but maybe you're worried about how to pick the right trades? I mean, that's supposed to be the hardest part, right? Picking a good trade. Is that what you might think? Now let's move over to secret number 3, how to make more money trading in 15 minutes a day than the people who work 9 to 5 on Wall Street. You could literally sit on your couch in your pajamas and you can do exactly what I'm talking about in this video. So I'm serious. How many of you honestly want to be like this guy, right? From my other picture, looking at all these confusing graphs all day just to hopefully make like one winning trade? No. You want to be like me on the beach, right? You want to fly to the Virgin Islands. You want to be on the beach putting your trade in? Absolutely. And then you get to spend the rest of your day doing the things that you actually like to do. Like you want to hang out, you want to spend time with your family, your kids, you want to go do some hobby that you enjoy. I've been working and traveling as I please for years, and it's because I literally use this method, and you could do it too in just 15 minutes per day. Now, how many of you guys know who this guy is? Put it in the chat box. Do you know who this guy is? He's the #1 trader in the world, probably. Warren Buffett, right? Let me ask you guys a question. Now, if you're able to call the #1 trader in the world on the phone right now and ask him what you should invest in, would you listen to his advice? Of course you would. So in the Edgar website is the SEC website that you can actually go to, which publicly shows all the trades that all these high-level investors are making. Now, what's cool is that these people have a ton of capital to invest, so they only bet on the steady stocks that they know are going to stay steady or go up in value. So step 1 to selling amazing puts in 15 minutes a day is to go here. I have the web address right here. Find the big stocks that the best traders in the world are currently trading and literally copy them, right? So what do you guys think we should do? Now that we basically know for a fact that this stock isn't going to plummet overnight, what do? We sell a put on the stock. It's almost like cheating. It's like having all the right answers to the test before you actually take the test. We just go over to Edgar. We ask Warren Buffett what the safest stock to invest is, the one that is almost impossible to lose on. And then we instantly take that information and we sell a put on the exact same stock. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How long do you guys think that that would take you? You go to this site, you look up a trade that you want to make. I showed you in the demo, you put in the calculator, you place the trade, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Now, I know all of you can find 15 minutes in a day to do this. I don't care how busy you are. You have 15 minutes in a day to do this. I want to show you guys, introduce you guys to a guy, Andrew. So he was in my class. He said at the time, this was a couple of years ago, he didn't have any time to eat half the time. He was working 2 jobs. He had 2 kids he was taking care of. He had so little time, but he wanted to learn about trading, right? He told me it wasn't possible between everything he was doing. So I asked him, can you find 15 minutes a day? I taught him these strategies, the strategies that we're talking about now. And I told him all he had to do was spend 15 minutes per day. And that was it. So I have a question for you guys. How many of you guys right now, if you did this process, if you followed what I showed you in secret 1, you decided to sell options and only focus on selling puts instead of getting distracted like everybody else, then you plugged a stock into the calculator just like I showed you in secret number 2, and you did this for 15 minutes a day using the tool in secret number 3, the Edgar page. How many of you guys think that you can be successful in this? Yeah, you bet you can. Now, I'm not saying like, maybe not $387, but what if you just made like a small fraction of that $387? What if you did half as good, right? Like, what if you made $184 per day? Would that totally change your life? Absolutely. So we covered 3 pretty cool things here. Let me recap it for you, right? We went through secret number 1, the magic trade, the only type of trade you're never going to need to know, and how it makes you money literally on a daily basis. When you sell a put, like I showed you in this video, when you sell a put, you literally get the money dropped into your account that day. You don't have to wait to buy something and then sell it later. You get the money dropped into your account that day. Secret number 2, the really easy way, how to place amazing trades, even if you have no experience. You have to have a little bit of money. no experience, you're not good with numbers, and if you don't understand investing software. And secret three, my quick trade method, how to make more money trading in only 15 minutes a day on your couch than the people who work 9 to 5 on Wall Street. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Mhm. Who's feeling a little bit like this guy here? So a lot of you guys get super hyped when I show them all this stuff, and then they get overwhelmed with all the information. And if you're feeling that way, it's totally okay. Now, my goal here was to open your guys' eyes up to this new opportunity of trading options and how it could totally transform your life if you take action on it.